How's it going? This is Fox back again for sound design tutorials. In the last video I did, I showed me making a hard trance track from start to finish. I'll put a link to the video on here. This is the track in the background, what you can see. I'm going to be going over all the parts that I did. I wanted to do it all just using Sylenth 1, so just mainly for me to still get used to it. As I say, I'll skip this really and went straight to massive. And I slagged it off in the last tutorial I did, saying it was really basic, but because of its simplicity it's easy to get some really nice crisp clean sounds out of it. So yeah, this is one of the sounds that I made in that track that I was on about a minute ago. I'm calling it a low pluck because it's a pluck and the notes are played quite down low. Well, I've pitched them down 2 octaves and 1 octave in the pitch box. So yeah, this is the sound. There you have it, nice simple sound, easy patch to make. We only use one part for this, part A. The movement and the width of the sound you get purely from the phaser and the delay. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead, initialize this preset. Part A, as I said, I pitched it down 2 octaves so it was nice and deep. And I used one of the real thin pulses, the Q pulse. I set the voices to 4. Kept it on retrig, kept the stereo where it was. I pushed the detune round to about 3.4, no phase at all, didn't invert the wave, didn't do anything to the fine, so that's it just for oscillator A1. For A2 I pitched it down 1 octave. I gave this 4 voices also. I changed it to a triangle wave. Detune a bit. Kept this on retrig as well. The only thing I did with this is a theme that I did for all the patches that you're going to see in this. I pitched this one up +5 to give it sort of the start of a bit of a chorded structure. Just helps make it thicken the sound out a bit. Okay, the filter I used was a low pass filter. I always use a low pass filter when I do plucks, and I always use a filter mod envelope to modulate that. So yeah, I pushed the drive up just a tiny bit just to help give the sound a bit of edge to about 1. Kept the resonance where it was, and I set the cut off at about 51 Hz. The cut off for the master filter I just pulled back ever so slightly. I didn't use any warm drive or resonance on the master filter, no resonance on filter A. Kept it on 24 decibel low pass filter. You can hardly hear it now, but we're going to assign an envelope to it quick. We're going to use mod envelope 1. Set this to cut off A. Push it around just past a quarter of the way, about 7.33 positive. When you do that, you just use the decay level to get it to sit where you want. Excuse me. About 3.1 and a tiny little bit of release. And that's it really, all the rest is done with the effects now just to make the sound wider. You might have heard there was a lot of movement through the thing. It also sounded like a filter was going out. That's purely done with a phaser. And what I did with the phaser is I clicked on it to turn it on, obviously. Keep the centre frequency where it is. I always push the spread round to maximum. Keep the width on maximum. Turn the LFO rate all the way down to nothing. And push it up ever so slightly so it's just 8/1. That means it's going to take 2 bars for it to do a cycle. It's a nice slow movement of the phaser running through the sound. LFO gain I kept where it was as standard. Feedback, dry wet, pull that back, so these three all look the same, about 10-2, so probably 30%. You can hear that phaser moving through, as I say, like putting a pulse through it. The only other effect I use is a delay, nice and simple. Turned it on. The left delay I kept on 1/4. The right delay I pulled back so it was 1/8. This is a common delay setting that I use, or that most people will use when they're doing plucks or anything like that. A 4 or 8, or a 2 and a 4. Low cut I kept all the way down. High cut all the way down. Kept it on ping pong. No smear, no spread. Feedback back again to about 35%. Width where it was and dry wet where it was. That's it. Piece of cake. Sounds quite good with an A2 pulse as well. You can once you've got this all set up, as I say, with the envelope doing the plucking on the filter, you can mess around with the waveforms and choose whatever you want. I thought it was nice with that triangle in the background, just giving it a little bit of difference. Looks where it works nice with the tri-saw wave as well. Even with a bit of noise in the background, still sounds good. There you have it anyway, nice simple patch, nice low deep trancey sort of pluck. It's all about delaying the phaser that made this sound, but yeah, nice and straightforward, nothing too stressful. As always, make sure you subscribe to my channel if you've enjoyed this or any of the tutorials that I've got. Head over there, it's www.youtube.com/MrMFox22. Check me out on Facebook, Google Plus and Twitter, it's Sound Design Tutorials. Okay, thanks a lot, cheers.